The village fair always brought a swirl of new sights and sounds, a break from the usual quiet rhythms of forest life. This year, though, it brought something different, something that resonated deep within me, in a way I couldn't quite explain at first. The village common was transformed. Stalls lined the square, draped with colorful clothes, piled high with wares, bolts of bright fabric, handcrafted pottery, gleaming tools, baskets overflowing with autumn fruits, even a traveling spice merchant with exotic smells swirling around his stall like visible magic. Villagers and folk from nearby farms thronged the square, their voices a cheerful babble, punctuated by the cries of vendors, the bleating of penned sheep, and the happy squeals of children darting through the crowds. The air was thick with the mingled scents of roasting sausages, sweet cakes baking on portable ovens, and damp earth churned up by many feet. It was a feast for the senses, a vibrant, bustling, temporary world set down in our usually quiet village. But it wasn't the stalls, or the food, or the crowds that caught my attention that day. It was the music. It started softly, a cheerful, lilting melody carried on the breeze, weaving its way through the general hubbub. Then it grew louder, clearer, drawing me, pulling me towards its source. It was bright and quick, full of nimble notes and unexpected turns, played on a small, brightly polished wooden flute, a sound that felt both joyful and somehow familiar, though I couldn't place why. Drawn by the music, I found myself standing at the edge of a small cleared space near the old oak tree in the center of the common. A small crowd had gathered, drawn in by the same enchanting sound. And there, in the center of the circle, stood a figure unlike anyone I'd ever seen in our village before. He was small, even smaller than me, if that was possible. Stout and round-bellied, with a cheerful, rosy face framed by a tumble of curly, light brown hair. He wore brightly patched trousers, a waistcoat embroidered with colorful threads, and a wide-brimmed hat perched jauntily on his head, adorned with a single, bright blue jay feather. And he was playing the flute, his fingers dancing over the holes with astonishing speed and precision, his whole body swaying gently to the rhythm, his face alight with the joy of the music. He was a halfling. I knew it instantly, instinctively. I knew I was a halfling, of course. Mama and Papa had always told me about my birth parents, but in our village, with no other halflings around, it had always felt like a story, a part of myself I knew about but hadn't really felt yet. Seeing this halfling, though, this was different. There was something about his warmth, his open, cheerful face, the quick, nimble movements, even the bright, earthy colors of his clothes. It all resonated with a feeling of recognition, of something waking up inside me, something that had been sleeping, waiting to be called. As the music swirled and danced around us, the halfling began to speak, his voice warm and engaging, a storyteller's voice made for drawing listeners in. He told tales of faraway places, of rolling green hills and sunlit meadows, of cozy burrows and hidden pathways, of feasts and laughter and songs that went on until the stars faded. He spoke of his people, the halflings, his own kind, their love of simple pleasures, their deep connection to the land, their talent for music and storytelling, their cheerful resilience in the face of the world's larger concerns. His words painted vivid pictures in my mind, images that felt strangely new, yet also familiar. Fields of golden wheat swaying in the breeze, the smell of freshly baked bread wafting from cozy doorways, the sound of laughter echoing through green valleys, the warmth of a crackling hearth on a chilly evening. It was like he was describing a place I had only imagined, a place I knew was part of me, but had never seen, never touched, never truly known, a place I longed to know. When the music ended and the stories faded, the crowd dispersed, chattering and smiling, carrying the warmth of the halfling's performance with them. But I couldn't move. I stood rooted to the spot, still caught in the spell of the music and the stories. The image of the halfling and his bright, cheerful presence lingering in my mind. Redpaw nudged my hand, sensing my stillness, but I barely noticed him. I was lost in a daze of something new, something important, something calling. Later, as the fair began to wind down and the crowds thinned, I saw him again, packing up his flute and his small traveling pack near the edge of the common, ready to move on to the next village, the next audience. Impulsively, driven by a feeling I couldn't ignore, I walked towards him, Redpaw padding silently beside me. "Excuse me?" I said, my voice a little hesitant as I approached. He turned, his bright eyes focusing on me, his smile instantly warm and welcoming. "Well now, hello there," he said, his voice cheerful and open. "Did you enjoy the tunes, little one? And the tales?" "Yes," I breathed, my voice a little shaky. "Yes, very much. They were wonderful." I paused, gathering my courage. I wanted to ask you something about the stories, about the halflings." His smile softened, his eyes twinkling with understanding. "Ah," he said, nodding slowly. "I thought you might feel a kinship with my stories. You have a listening heart, little one, and it's quite clear to see you have the halfling spark, the halfling spirit shines bright in you." He leaned forward slightly, his gaze gentle but direct, studying my face with an open curiosity. I smiled back, a warmth spreading through me. "I am halfling," I said, nodding, feeling a sense of immediate connection with this stranger who saw me so clearly. "My father is human, and my mother is a half-elf, but my birth father and my mother, they were both halfling. I never knew them." It wasn't a surprise, but a statement of fact, a quiet acknowledgement of something finally being seen and understood by someone outside my family. "Halfling spirit in me?" I repeated, but not as a question of identity, more as a delighted affirmation of his recognition. You can see that?" He chuckled softly, a warm, rumbling sound. "Can see that? Little one? It's as clear as the sun in the sky to anyone who knows to look," he said, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "I see it. In your eyes. In your smile. In the way you stand so close to the earth. In the warmth around you. You have the halfling spark, child. No doubt about it." He paused, then extended a small, calloused hand towards me, his smile widening. "Pipkin Kettlefoot, at your service and storyteller to anyone with ears to listen and a bit of joy in their heart." I took his hand, my own feeling small and almost clumsy in his warm grasp. "Lidda," I managed to say, my voice still a little shaky. "Lidda Riverflow, and thank you, Master Kettlefoot, for the music, for the stories, and for seeing me." For the first time, someone outside my little forest family had seen that part of me, that hidden, unspoken part that I knew was there, but had never truly understood or experienced in person. Being halfling, hearing about halflings, seeing a halfling, it was different things, and now I yearned to know more. It sounded like a beginning, like a path opening up, leading somewhere new, somewhere towards a deeper understanding of who I was.